and we are live on our Facebook channel. Today we're having Q&A for parents, athletes, and coaches. Hello, everyone. Hello, Kamal.
Hi, Alia. Hi, everyone.
Excellent. And we are ready to roll.
Lovely, lovely. So what are we doing today?
We're
Okay.
doing the Q&A. Oh, okay. I believed you. I'm gullible. You know that.
I know. No, I was kidding. I know we've been I haven't been live with Side by Side for the past 2 weeks. We both had things on our sides to do, so we're back on track now, thankfully. And
Excellent.
after all those talks that we've had, we decided together that it would be important to let the parents know what are the do's and don'ts of being a great parent to an athlete. Um, as a child or as a teenager, when I was growing up, I saw my mom, how she was with me and my sisters, and when we played sports, and I saw other parents, and um, there's a lot of work to be done, and there's a lot of influence from parents, like I've discussed before, and what a parent does or doesn't do will eventually influence the child. So
So
without
let's
that,
go
yeah, go
let's
ahead.
go vague at the beginning and talk about parents, because I get this question: how influential am I as a parent? Am I actually influencing my child actively or passively, proactively, constructive, destructive? Do I have a mental role on my child?
You absolutely do as a parent. It is a strong bond, obviously. You're the parent. And there are important factors, I believe, that all parents of athletes should bear in mind. Um, it's definitely good to encourage the kids. It's definitely excellent to be there with them when they are in a competition or training, or whenever they want you to be there. You see, it's when they want you to be there that you should be there. It's not when you decide as a parent, I have to be for my child's training or I have to be there for their competition. Um, so yeah,
That's a great approach, Kamal, from you. Let me ask you also, like you said, it's when the athlete or when the child requests their parents' presence. Does it differ if the parent have the knowledge or don't have the knowledge of the sport itself, like how good they are or not, or let me put it this way, if they think they know about the sport?
let me put it this way. They have a job as a parent, not a coach. Whether they know the sport or not, it's not their job to coach them. They have a coach and they should not interfere with the coach's methods. Unless, of course, that parent has been a coach as well and is part of the coaching team, is part of if they have been an athlete that has won competitions in that game, they can give their opinion to the child. But it has to be from a very to put it from a third person perspective, not direct, not say you should do that, you have to do this, you have to do that, because that's not their job. The job of a parent of an athlete is to support their child mentally and support them by being in their competitions to cheer them up, or even if the child or the athlete loses, to give them back that confidence that it's okay to lose.
And like you said, per the child's request or per the athlete's request, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, that's in best cases, right? The child will say, "Yeah, I'd like you to be there." And in most cases, an athlete or a child would love their parents to be at these competitions or trainings, as long as the parent doesn't interfere. I've seen many parents interfere during training times, telling the child, "Oh, do this, do that." It's not your job.
Let me interrupt you here for a second. Some came up to me and said, but the practice is not important. I want to say what I want to say, for example.
What does that mean? What do you mean the
Like
practice is not important?
they think no, not as important. Let me put it this way, not as important as the competition. So them interfering at practice will not harm their child with their interference.
That's a no-go, to me at least. Okay, let me put it this way. I know in certain countries it's different, but when you practice a martial art, the parents are nowhere to be seen. There is no stand for them during practice. There is no place for them to sit and watch their child train. Because this is something confidential. This is almost like therapy. Because you go in there and you have that one-to-one interaction with your coach, with your sensei, with your master, whatever you want to call them. This is a bond, and that bond is sacred. Some sports you have that availability of people being available to watch, like athleticism, or if you're practicing tennis or football, etc., right? But during practice hours, it's the parents' job just to watch. That is the only thing that they can do, to watch and cheer. Your job as a parent is not to coach your child on how to do things, because they have a coach for that. It's not it's what's best for them. The coach knows.
So I got another question here. Oh, my child is a little bit young, so maybe he doesn't know what he wants or needs, and that's why I have to interfere. So that's the first part of the question. But then the second part is, when is the right age?
Okay. Age appropriation for sports is usually discussed with the coaches. The sports that children want to practice, sometimes it's pushed by the parents. And a child does a sport because they feel that they will get that extra love from the parent because the parent wanted them to do that sport. And it's up to them. They can test and try several sports. There's nothing wrong in not going to the end of the road in any sport, like for instance going into a competition. You can just practice the sport just to practice it. So letting them choose what they want is much more appropriate than forcing them to do something that maybe they don't know if they want it or not. Let them test it out. Ask the coaches what's the recommended age for starting to train. Some sports, they allow the kids to start training at 4 and 5, others 6, 7, others 8, others not before 12. It's very dependent on each coach and each school.
So, and I have two more questions, and they're just partial questions and answers here. What do I do as a parent if my athlete or my child win? And what do I do if my athlete or child loses in competition?
Okay, so these are nice points. Actually, I wanted to get there. So I wrote a few pointers here. So if you allow me, I just need to look at my other screen here. Where are they?
Yes, please.
Let's see. All right, so that will go. Okay, so I have those 10 points, but let's go into this one, the do's and don'ts. When a child wins, it's good to cheer them up, but it's very important to let them know that they have to also congratulate the other party, the person that lost against them, because this is camaraderie, this is playing fair. It's important to understand that at any time, the athlete can lose or win. And whether they lose or win, it doesn't matter. What matters is that they can appreciate these moments, whether they're for learning experience or for to congratulate the ones that won or lost against them. If they lose, it's very important on the ride home, like going back from the competition, right? Do not reprimand them. Do not coach your child. Ask them questions. Ask them if they had fun. Ask them if it was hard work. Ask them if they had a good attitude or if they could have changed that attitude. Ask them if they appreciated the opportunity. See, formulate questions that will let the child or the athlete think more about what they want out of that experience. Because, like I said in the beginning, it's not your job as a parent to coach them. If they win, congratulate them, be proud of them, ask them the same questions, ask them if they had fun, ask them what they learned, ask them if they tried something new, ask them to congratulate the loser or the opponent and to support them as well. These are important things to consider when it comes to winning and losing. And it's important not to get too much or too involved in that state of, yeah, watch my son, watch my daughter, they're the winners, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not for you to show off. And it's not even for them to show off. It's for them to appreciate the moment. It's a learning experience. Every day we spent is a learning experience, whether it's at training or at a competition. And these are the important things that they have to keep in mind. I'll give you a few do's and don'ts, right? Don't ever call your coach or your child's coach to discuss how the strategy or when they're going to practice more or when they're going to practice less or what they are going to do. It's not your job. Your job is to be there for the child, not to coach the coach even, right? Focus more on what you can do to make the experience of your child better, a more enjoyable experience, whether it's at training or at the competition. Like I said, praise them for their efforts, their attitude, and their sportsmanship. Don't constantly praise them about winning or the point that they got or the awards or the trophies. It's good to praise them a little bit. Just don't push it too much, right? Keep it in moderation. Don't speak poorly about a coach or a teammate or even the opponent. Remember that people do the best that they can with what they have at the moment. So one day your child is a winner, the next maybe they will lose against another opponent or even the same opponent. Let's see. Again, I'll come back to the point where it's do not coach or referee from the sideline, right? You're distracting your child. They have a specific set of directives that they've had from their coach. If you are not part of the coaching team, it's not your job. You're there just to support them, to show them that you appreciate them, to show them that you care for them. And no matter what the result, you are there to be proud of what they're doing. And let's see. There's also another point that's important is at home. When a child wants to discuss their sport, be there for them, to listen, not to reprimand, not to tell them give them advice, not to tell them what they have to or should do, right? Remember that sport is their decision. So if they are coming to you to vent and tell you how they feel and how they want to express things or what they want out of it, they are trusting you to listen to them. A lot of parents forget that it's just about listening, not even giving advice or telling them what to do. And once you've listened, you can tell them that you understand, that you tell them that you feel what they're talking about. Um, Ask them, how can I help you? How can I support you most to be most beneficial towards you? What do you want from me to be your support and your guide? Let them tell you what they want. Don't read their mind and assume that you know what's best for them. Yes, I trust you as a parent that you know what's best for their health and their future. But as an athlete, they know what's best for them, what they want out of it. So trust your child. And yeah, so these are some do's and don'ts. There are plenty of things to look into and to figure out. But it's very important to also discuss with your coach, with the coach of your child. Uh, and I say child, I know I've said it several times, but it can be a teenager, it can be a grown up. They're still your children at the end of the day. Um, Find out what the coach recommends as well. Don't just take my word for it. I'm just one person that's telling you what I think is best from a coach perspective and from an athlete's perspective. Um, Remember, it's if your child is playing a sport, don't try to live through them. Let them choose the sport that they want. If they're not satisfied with the sport, let them be. Let them find another one. It's not because you wanted to compete in fencing that your child has to go to fencing. Let them choose what they want. Um, don't push all the time. Pushing, that's not very beneficial. A lot of children, when they're pushed beyond their capabilities, they rebel against it by losing, actually. It doesn't help either their self-confidence, and you'll find that resentfulness against you. So just let them be. Push them a little bit if they want that push. Support them. But don't keep on pushing. Oh, you have to be the best. You have to do that. No, they don't have to do anything. It's their choice. It's their sport. You chose a job. Whether you like it or not, it's your choice. Their job is their schoolwork and their sport. So whether they like it or not, it's still their choice. Remember that you shouldn't, well, I say you shouldn't. A lot of people expect excellence or perfection, and they tie it to their ego and self-worth, or the self-worth of the child. Perfectionism is something very difficult to live up to, because at the end of the day, we are all at fault and none of us are perfect. Don't tell them, or don't allow yourself to be overtaken by that ego and tell them that their performance make you look bad. It has nothing to do with you. It is all about them. So I think that covers a bit of the questions that we've had here, and some of the do's and don'ts, obviously. There are some do's as well. When you offer your opinion, be flexible, right? Allow yourself to be wrong. Accept that you can be wrong. And tell it to your child. Tell them, by the way, I was wrong here, or this is, I'm not, I was wrong about that, or this. they will appreciate that. They will understand that it's okay to be wrong and to make mistakes. Because in that case, what you will allow is you will allow the child to make their own mistakes and learn from them rather than feel that they have done something wrong. They will get better feedback, or as I like to call it, feed forward. I call it feed forward because the words that you get out of it is to make you move forward, and it's not backwards, right? So they will appreciate, they will understand, and they will accept that feed forward. Very important as well is teach your child to respect the coach. This is a primary thing, of course, showing that respect and understanding. And that is represented by how you respect the coach. It's a vital progress in the performance of your child. And one last thing, I would like you as parents to accept and support your child's choice to play no sports when they are most comfortable and they are available to have that option. They don't have to play sports all the time. Yes, sports is good, it's for the health, it's for the mental state, but allow them to choose and say, you know what, I don't want to play any sports now. Alia, there she is.
Yes, so the network disconnected. Kamal, I'm sorry, but we're back and we're live. It's amazing all the tips and tricks you're giving the parents here, to the athletes, parents, and child. But on my side, my questions for now are over. But thank you for the 10 points that you're giving. Definitely helping as a feedback.
It's an absolute pleasure, Alia. It's an absolute pleasure. And the parents can ask more questions whenever they want to. I mean, they can reach you, they can reach me. It's quite simple.
Beautiful, beautiful. So we're looking forward for next week. Thank you, Kamal, for today's session. Everybody, thank you so much for sharing your questions with us, and see you next week.
Thank you again, Ali.
Bye-bye.